Today I'm going to do a small video on cutting aluminium, sanding it, just here, and really the best way to save your stuff. These are surface prep pads. Some call what's the name of it? It's the scrubbing pads. Anyway, really good. They'll block up pretty quickly. So we'll do some surface prep stuff and sanding disc. The ones with zirconia in them are better than just these oxide ones. Wax. This is a hard wax. I'm in Australia. I got this from Independent Welding Supplies. Sand, do 10-15 second sanding, bit of wax. That lasts so much longer. Otherwise, the aluminium clogs up the sanding disc. This is all wax here. That's pretty much wax embedded into it. Same with surface prep pads. It's always good to have a disc or a backing plate on it. That's a backing plate. Sometimes I'll actually leave the sanding disc on there and just clamp that down. Trick I learned. Wax. Really going to talk about wax. It's really good once you start and you get some heat in it, especially with the cutting discs. This is a Makita inox cutting disc. Don't use the iron ones designed for steel. This is one that's designed for stainless steel. You can buy the discs that are specifically for aluminium. They're fucking expensive, $4.50 each. When I can buy this, I bought a tray of it for $11. It lasts for ages. Same thing. Cut a little bit and just wipe it over as it's running. Be careful. Once this disc gets a little bit warm, the wax embeds into it a lot better. And you'll know as you're cutting along, you'll cut and then all of a sudden it'll slow down. Then you really know you just need to wipe it over, keep that edge nice and waxed, and it'll cut. You have to clean it. We'll come to that. Well worth getting some wax. I worked at a boat building place. They used a hard soap, which I think is a laundry soap, yellow one. Really good too. That worked awesome. Flap disc. You want to sand. Same thing. Bit of wax on it will go a long way. What are we doing? Sand. File. There is another wax that you use on blades like this. It's a softer wax. It's made by Irwin. There might be other brands that I just don't know them. I do have it. It's in a long tube and you just bring out as much as you need, run it over the blade. It's a lot better for blades, for cutting discs. Not cutting discs, for blades. It's a softer wax and it tends to stick onto it, where this stuff, it'll fly off if there's nothing to hold it. That's what I found anyway. File. The softer wax again, because this stuff actually, even though it goes in, it kind of comes off pretty quick because it doesn't melt into it. If it was a bit warmer, maybe you heat it up and just run it over, it might work. Only thought of that this morning. Reciprocal saw, put a bit on. Again, you can use the softer wax, or if you do a little bit of cutting, then put this on while it's warm, and that'll work really well. Just be careful. I know with this one, once the wax gets down into here, it starts to come out. So I try not to use it as much as possible. Another blade. Jigsaw. Still really good, cut along, use the right blade for it. This is designed for aluminium and steel. Again, do a little bit while it's running, while it's warm. I just butt it up like that as it's running, and that seems to do the job. Again, too much will get inside of here, because this is not one that you screw down with an Allen key. It kind of sucks that they went away from that. Do have a lot earlier model, which that's what you do, and it's fine. Works really well, especially if you need to get around some corners where you can't use that. This is designed for aluminium. It's coarser than the other diamond. What do you fucking call those? I'll remember the name in a minute. I got two. That's a small one for the die grinder, but I use them in the drills. They're for the little rotary tools, like the Dremel. Really coarse, doesn't bind up, but again, just once they start getting a bit warm, wax them. Keep that wax up, and they'll last a lot longer because the aluminium, once things start warming up, the aluminium embeds into it, and it just really blocks everything up. Again, circular saw. I've got a compound saw over there, designed to cut wood, has an aluminium blade on it. Same with this. I think they call it a multi-purpose one, but anyway, it's designed to do aluminium, keep the wax up to it. The blades, circular saw, compound saw, whatever you got, you can use stuff like RP7, WD-40, inox, spray inox. One place I worked at, their saw, that's what they used. Ran a lot slower than this one, but that's what they do. You have to, any of this stuff, if you're going to weld it, that's what you have to clean it. So we'll come to that in a minute. Router. If I need a perfectly straight line and a good finish, I use a router. I cut really close to that line. Put a straight edge against it, have that set. There's a top bearing on here that you can run. There's a top bearing here. You run along your straight edge, and then you cut whatever's below. It works really well. Leaves a really neat finish. Yeah, I like it. Again, just cut so close to that line, and all you want to do is just trim it. If you're going to do 3 mil, 2 mil, you're going to start having problems. Again, wax. I think the other wax is better for it, but once it starts getting a bit warm, this is not too bad. You can spray it, works really well. You can use it on drill bits as well. I've been doing a lot of countersinking into aluminium to put screws into boats. Once it starts getting warm, put some wax on it, works really well. You notice the difference. Aluminium binds onto the edges of the blade and stuff, so pretty much doing stuff like that again. If you're doing stainless steel screws into aluminium, it's a bit tight, a bit of spray, works really well. Again, the aluminium and stainless really bind together. You want something to stop it. If you're putting sealant on it, that always helps. I think that comes to the end of that. Always wax or soap. The soap is hard, but it's like the other wax that I've got. It works really well. There's not much cleanup with it. Come to cleanup, acetone. I got that at Bunnings, and that was $40 something, yeah, just under $40 for 4 litres. Works really well. Always advised to use that or isopropyl alcohol. One place I worked at again, where I learned a lot with the finishing and stuff and using the wax, was methylated spirits. That was $12 or something, $12, $13 from Bunnings again. It's the cheapest place I could find it. Works really well. Give it time to come evaporate off. Works good. I never knew that before, but they used it and it welded over fairly well, so no dramas. Wax, your best friend when you're cutting, when you're sanding, routing, whatever you're doing, filing. Wax or soap is good. You want something to last longer. Those cutting discs last so much longer when you're using wax. And I'll be cutting along, and I'll actually, once it stops, use this hand and just run it over. I don't pull it out. It does put a bit of wax on there, but it makes such a difference. Hope you learned something. Hope you can take something away from this. Doesn't matter whether it's belt sanders, disc sanders, orbital sanders. You want to save some money, use wax or soap. Thank you.